Ladies and gentlemen, cheers to you. How are you today? I hope you are well. Man, I should get work on this lighting. So my name is Thor, and I'm with Thor News. And what happened is that I have two videos ready for you guys. One is one that I'm just gonna try to edit, and the other one was one based on the storm Cristobal, which is a major event, and that might have Dolly coming in after it. But then my hacker got in my computer, and so it's like the hacker can take control of your mouse and pretty much do whatever they want. And so I thought I would come on, maybe I could catch my hacker live, because hackers seem to be, from my standpoint, as an honest guy who always shoots from the chest, the heart, straight shooter. Hackers aren't great at communicating. Their information is usually very passive aggressive. And so I was hoping maybe I could catch my hacker here live and I could figure out what type of message they wanted to convey, since it's hard to understand. I haven't got my glasses on. In case they do type something, then I can read it. But basically, like, yeah, the energy is wild. And the two systems we were watching, the one that is coming over Pacific now, and Cristobal. It's an event. What if the big one is Jupiter and the Cristobal is Saturn? So that's my new what if. Cheers. If you just joined us, the energy is wild. Oh, I took my glasses off, so we wrote something. What's up? So, my hacker showed up on my computer, so I went live, so maybe my hacker could tell me what's up. They're like aliens, they're spirits that don't talk. They just obstruct or let you know that they're there. And so I have two videos. Sweet. I think it's a team of hackers anyways. And so the energy's wild. I got two videos I recorded, one that I was gonna edit and one I was just about to put up on a great graphic done about the two giant storms, the one that is moving over the Pac Northwest and the one that Cristobal that's coming in. And then you got Dolly coming in right after it. Kind of lays out the next 5 days. The 5 days that come after the eclipse. And they're super 2020, bro. And I don't want to talk about Lemuria, but here we are drinking beer talking about Lemuria. And the inside, everyone is a star. Your heart is like a star. And you have your own magnetic field and your own electric field through your emotions and your imagination. And I believe there are way more good people on the planet than there are bad people who want everyone to fail and be tortured. Which team are you on? So it's wild. Sean says he's on the 420 team. Elon's on that team. I'm on that team. That's the Peace Pipe team. And if you want to solve all the problems, you got to end all the wars. I believe that's been the crux of the grand transition. You have the team that wants to end all the wars, and you have the other team who does not. They want to increase the wars like a funnel. So there's like one team standing. Well, Asteroid Fight Club, The Astonishers, me, and I am Team Earth. I am Team End All Wars. Have been, will be. Because the people that are obstructing progress, the people who are keeping rock and roll off of Earth, the people who are pumping divide and conquer into all people so they can make more money and take more power, I don't think at their core are very happy. It's a very dysfunctional set. So, yeah, before the big things happen, there's always room to be converted. You can be a bad guy that gets converted to the good guys. And I would guess, though not on my team, I mean my team that I trained, you know, we're going to lose some good people to the darker side before shit is said and done. But as I bragged, and probably shouldn't have, none of my men have been captured. So, hello, good evening. Try not to fall asleep. I have problems falling asleep. Because, like, right now, there's so much happening right now across the globe and in our sky. I've had 2 different people I communicate with text me, hey, yo, I saw aliens and UFOs this week, or I saw UFOs this week. It was super crazy and weird. I was like, I believe you. I see weird stuff all the time. And it's 2020. You know, like, if aliens show up in October, I'm not going to be surprised. I'll be like, wow. But I probably won't be surprised. You know? I don't know. So, yeah, I'm fighting for unity. And playing good defense. And I believe in the plague is here. So avoid it. Yes, there has been some weird stuff this year. There's been weird stuff since 2012. For sure. Signs in the sky. But I think it was on my birthday 2 years ago. I stared at the sun for a couple hours. And during there, in the time, I thought I saw God, but she was a woman. She almost looked Native American, and she was gorgeous. I don't want to... That would be weird, being physically attracted to God, huh? Anyway. But it seemed very real, and it seemed like there was a little city in the sky, in the sun, and it seemed beautiful. People might be like, that sounds crazy. But maybe some people are better at looking at the sky than others. Because I've discussed that I have a good imagination. I don't think everyone on the planet has a good imagination. So sometimes they can't imagine or visualize things. Or they can't even see things. Like, not only cannot imagine, but that which is there passes by them unbeknownst. Like you could have a giant 500-pound elephant just walk by them and they just weren't paying attention. Or, they can't see with both eyes. They're either right eye or their left eye. Like, they can't see everything. And my eyes both have worked my life. I think my third eye flickers on and off. Maybe it's on all the time. I don't know. So what are you doing? What are you wearing? Oh, man. So, yeah, earlier I was about to post a video. My hacker was like, hey, I'm here. So I hopped online. I was like, man, if you got something to say, I'd love to hear it. I'm not big on passive-aggressive communications. Although I do use Twitter. It is definitely a very X-Men vibe. I don't know if you guys get into superhero mythology. But that it feels like amongst all the madness, there are definitely teams of good people. And that I can attest to with all the weirdness and the gang stalking and the micromanaging of lives and shit. They keep it's like they keep all the really good people apart from joining up. It's something that they do. And it's very frustrating. Like teamwork for anything other than the petrodollar is highly discouraged in this system, it would seem. And that everybody needs the petrodollar to buy their goods and services and get the health care and all the things that human beings need. Where like it's hard to exist if you just give up the monetary system. So shit is crazy. And like, I don't know, you could almost feel that like if greed were like a cloud, you can see the greed cloud growing larger in the sky. We're about to cross $26 trillion on our national debt. That doesn't count our Federal Reserve debt, which is like $7 trillion now. And so we were at like $3 trillion in 2001 as a national debt. And since then they've printed or digitized like $2 quadrillion. All currencies through the petrodollar or through cryptocurrencies. So that they've created this much more wealth. Like I was looking at it in like 1994, the Dow Jones was at 3,000 points in 1994. In 2020, the Dow Jones is at like, what is it now, 25 something? So the quality of life has not improved 8 times. They've just been figuring out how to siphon all the money out of the people. And now that they've laid 40 million people off, we're just in a very strange time, man, where like I always say, are they going to try and drop 200 million Americans into the ocean? Is that going to be the big act that happens before November? Maybe. It would just be nice if you get more people looking at the big picture. What up, Flood? Thank you for being cool. Thank everybody for being cool. But even if giant ninja-sized nanobots crash through my window, I'm going out fighting for the good guys and gals. But this shit is crazy. And time is a plasma. Like 2020 time is a plasma where it almost feels like instant actions and words have instant effects. And so that we are carving and crafting and manipulating and moving and making our future here together now. Like the entire future is a giant blank page. And so 2020 is a big battle for the pen. The future is now. And I I spent the last 7 years of my life, if not 40, preparing me and us for days like today. So I definitely have cabin fever. I've been in this foxhole trying to be an amazing planetary defense commander just in this foxhole since like October, November 2016. Time to play defense and get everybody to play defense. What was it talking about? Oh. But so that I don't think I mispositioned myself, for like where you were 10 years ago to where we are today and where we might be 10 years from now. I don't think I mispositioned myself. I don't think I made major career choice missteps. I'm glad I'm your planetary defense commander. I'm glad civilization is still standing. And I'm glad we have a chance to create a wonderful future together. But it's a big battle for the future. And all the people that are going to tell you that there's no hope seem well paid on some level. If there was no hope, I wouldn't be here. I say that as someone who believes Jesus Christ is my King of Kings and my number one mentor my whole life. I ain't never losing faith that God is good and that God takes care of all of us. And that better days are ahead of us. But we got a lot of problems to solve. Like I said, it's as simple as if you want to solve all the problems, end all the wars. And no matter what, they can't just print $1 zillion because there's a point where the stock markets don't go down anymore. They just go straight up and then everything breaks. And so if you had the petrodollar, which is the global reserve currency, snap overnight without a plan in place, everybody's super fucked. I mean, everybody. And then you get into you lose billions of people and you get into a drone war amongst the rich. So that's a position that would be great to avoid. Yeah. I'm one man. I have one voice. And I use it. We'll see what happens, though. And so if you're just joining us, I was trying to I've recorded 2 videos I haven't put up. One I want to edit. The other one was just hey, here is a good example. It shows the big storm low that's coming in to the Pac Northwest right now that was over Colorado doing the 100-mile-per-hour winds and some straight line winds. And then Cristobal coming up. They're going to form into one big superstorm. And then under that, you have Dolly coming in from the Atlantic as a little low pressure system. And what it makes it look like through Matt Lanza's graphic, and this is Peter Papin and Matt Lanza's graphics that I was using, the bigger storm looks like Jupiter's pressure imprint. And Cristobal, the littler storm, looks like Saturn's imprint. It almost seems like, what if those 2 storms are their pressure implementations? So, if that were anywhere near true, on December 21st, 2020, the week before, the week of, and the week after, we would probably be getting a major storm where all the pressure was in one big superstorm. It would be like the imprint of Jupiter's super red-eye storm with Saturn pressed down to Earth in our atmosphere. So that might be what we're dealing with 6 months from now. And at that exact same time, I'm going to be doing my best with friends to resurrect rock and roll and bring rock and roll back to Earth. So, crazy year, man. Crazy day. It is wild. And if you're going by the astrology, it's just going to keep getting wilder up until the 21st. From the 19th, the 20th, and the 21st. We covered it in the Nostradamus when it said, oh, I brought it out for you. April, the Nostradamus, the 1565 chapter we've been using all year. This may or may not be Use it for what it is. Plague to multiply. This is April. The sex to fight each other, which is like everybody, the groups. Times moderated, winter little return. Of mass and meeting house, grievously to debate. Rivers to overflow, evils, mortals all around. May, people and debates and quarrels over trivia, and over women and deceased great war. The death of a great female. And I wondered who that could be. And at this point, it could be Lady Liberty. That in May is when Lady Liberty died. And we've been in some pseudo martial WTF state since. More great ladies expelled from the land. So now we go to June. In widowhood, as many males as females. The life of great monarchs to be in danger. Plague, steel, famine, great peril, pell-mell. Troubles through changes, little ones to entice. All right. The life of great monarchs to be in danger, which would fit in with the astrology because they say the lunar eclipses most affect the people, and then the solar eclipses affect the people in power and of power. Greater and less greater. Remember, normally we have 2 eclipses 2 weeks in between. This year in 2020, we have 6 total eclipses, with 3 of them coming in the summer, June 5th, June 21st, and then like July 15th or July 4th, right? So somewhere around there. So we have like a 3-act structure of eclipses. And so the first one that had in the 5th was like a people effector. And we have people protesting all over the world. We have the American Civil War going on. That's cold. You have Hong Kong, China, like everybody's having a thing going on. And then the one coming up on the 21st, like the war transitions more to the people in power. Whether it be like, where just the other day, Elon Musk said, hey, break up Jeff Bezos' company, Amazon. It's like a monopoly. And I had recommended Jeff Bezos work with the post office to help save and improve everything. So they're like, for now, we'll say Elon and Jeff Bezos and like Bill Gates, they're like all the big power players, Rothschilds, Rockefellers, Astors, Mars, like all the other like the people from India, the Middle East, like China, all the 60 families who have all the power, or people, Silicon Valley 6, that the eclipse at the solstice is really going to have more of an effect, more of the focus in the energy wise is going to be on the power structure groups, if I'm interpreting everything correctly. But the Nostradamus thing says the life of great monarchs to be in danger, where like if you hold X amount of money, if you hold X amount of power, if you hold X amount of control, it comes with a whole lot of responsibility. Like you can't escape it. Like if you have $1 trillion, it comes with the X amount of weight of $1 trillion. And so that not only is there a whole underworld public thing happening where they're controlling us by like on a leash, but there's still a big battle and negotiation happening between all the most powerful people on the planet. Like it's not just some simple unified group. I do not believe. Unless they all signed a contract 10 years ago to drop everybody in the ocean, meaning like 6.5 billion people. Who knows, man? So when are lockdowns coming back? I don't know. They're coming back. My guess would be between the end of June and September. Yeah, Flood is cool. Almost everybody in Asteroid Fight Club is super cool. Well, if you're in Asteroid Fight Club, then you're cool. As long as you're not uncool. Asteroid Fight Club is like way of life. Trying to be a good guy at all times. Even if you're a woman. I tried to make a joke. I didn't. Yeah, and we prevent civilization from collapsing, and eventually we begin to move civilization forward. So there were Elon and Scott Manley were talking about how the rocket he built was 81 meters tall, and so like the idea of building infrastructure of the future, it's like when I share the Edgar Casey maps of the future, where like parts of the West Coast are chunked out, and then the Mississippi River widens by like a state and a half all the way down, and then parts of the East Coast are gone. That like the Earth is going to continue to form and change. And so if you were going to build architecture that will work well with how Earth is going to change, you can't do that on like national levels. You can't have them design architecture for the future of the planet the same way they do trade deals in 2015. You know? So at some point you either end all wars or you have a war versus the most powerful, richest people on the planet. And it's a war of technology. It's a weird deal. It's a very either or, it seems. And I've been saying that since I've been here. And I'm still here, you're still here, so hope still lives. So this is the first. I didn't put up a video I finished because my hacker showed up on my laptop. So I popped on to my video and was like, hey, hacker, do you have a message you can give me that isn't so passive aggressive? And here we are. And I've been talking for 26 minutes yet. No crazy hacker message. But because a lot of the energy is super intense. And so June is going to be a month of conflict. And we got to find our inner peace somewhere there. We're supposed to be playing defense, making sure that we keep the lights on, making sure that we keep the water running, making sure we keep people fed and the food chain up. Man, we could have done it so much better. Instead, they took February on to convince Republicans up until June, up until 100,000 American deaths. They tried to convince Red Team that it was a hoax. You ain't got to worry about it. And then we had 100,000 dead people from COVID. And then they switched and were like, no, Blue Team, Democrats, you have been mistreated the whole time. So we're now going to pit the police, who are first responders, against anyone under $100 million net worth. And so they literally just flipped the energy. And they did a version of the same shit in 2008, 2009. When it was like, oh my God, the stock market crashed. Why the stock market crash? We don't know. We got to give everybody free money on Wall Street. So, we keep the economy going. Who are we mad at? The people at the Occupy Wall Street riots who were protesting. We were mad at these protesters. Why? Because they are dirty, smelly, and poor. That's how 2008, 2009 went down. And here we are, 2020, and it's the same shit kind of, where since February they were like, hey, Republicans, it's a freaking hoax. Donald Trump is your Jesus. He is your savior. Even though he talks about how much he wants to hump the stock markets, he really wants to give you the better American lifestyle you deserve, that Jesus will give you. And then they flipped that when we had 100,000 COVID deaths. Instantly became, all right, yes, black people, we had slavery, and then we treated you as second-class citizens. We had an amendment in the Constitution that said you were 3/5 of human being. We treated you fucking horribly, like the supervillain in films forever. And it just happened again. So get out there and protest, even though the plague is fucking going on. So they took everything and they flipped the fucking script and turned it all against the police to defund the police. When was the last time government defunded anything? So they pretty much like chess pieces. The red team and the blue team. It's like a chess game, and it's not black and white. It is red and blue. Left brain, right brain. And so they tricked everybody into going out and making the plague that much fucking worse while they get stock markets back up to whatever. And then the market's probably going to crash again around the 9th of June. All right, so in late December, Saturday Night Live had Eddie Murphy host for the first time in 20 years. And then like Dave Chappelle showed up on stage, Chris Rock showed up on stage, Tracy Morgan showed up on stage, and then Kenan Thompson showed up on stage. And if I could make a personal request, it would be great if those guys could get back together and I know Barack Obama could moderate. And then tell us what has happened in their lives and the world since that happened in December and what they think we could do to improve things moving forward with humankind in general. And I bet if you asked, would ending all the wars that have been going on since all of us were born help? I bet the answer would be yes. We could solve all problems if we gave up all the wars. Why is Israel fighting with Palestine? Why is India fighting with... Dang, who is there? Is it... Why is America fighting everybody? Why are North Korea and South Korea fighting? Why are these are all like our grandfather's wars that were built to help petrodollar move forward. And then we got to the stuck in the road. And we have been like in neutral since 1999, 20 years, been in neutral. No more deception. And no more running like everything on hating people. Like we feared the Taliban for like 10 years. And now we fear each other for 10 years. You know? No more of this fear fuel. And you got to know that like it's easy to see that like in Wizard of Oz, the guy behind the green curtain, he's pulling the strings. The weird thing is that like super wonderful, super beautiful, super smart, super cute, super cool Astrolata did a video. And she was talking about how, like, it's almost even like a type of spirit that they tried this with Mars, they tried this with Lemuria, they tried this with Tiamat. Like, they always try it, but somehow they always end up fucking it up. And so it's like Thor versus the serpent in Norse mythology, to where in the big battle, Thor and the serpent kill each other, and like, most people are wiped out except for the meek. And so that's why I'm like New Thor 7. I'm not the first Thor. And this is not Ragnarok all over again. This is not Tiamat all over again. This is not Mars all over again. This is not Lemuria all over again. This is something brand spanking new. What we're trying to do is get it to where it works on all cylinders. The Hopi call it like the 7th time, I guess. Don't want to speak for them, but I'm saying like to where everybody works it out. That war doesn't beget war. The war cycle ends. And that the planets work together. So that's what I'm here for. And that's what I've been doing. And I love you. And I really hope I get to cuddle again. On this planet, in this life. That would be nice. Giant battles. Oh, now about to vape. Be right back. I got another beer. Wait, I have a beer. The energy's crazy. And it's like I talk about. I don't know, man. Yeah, you got bad guys who would be willing to get rid of 1 billion humans or 2 billion humans or 5 billion humans. That is not my thing. Cheers. If you were here, you would know I smell way better now. I gotta work on my lighting though. And I believe that technically I've been fighting for peace the whole time. My life. That's what I do. Because getting along is way more fun. Having a good road trip is way better than having a bad road trip. Okay, I'm checking out the chat. Lately, I've heard a lot of people talking about both heaven and hell. And from what I have known, is that I am alive here with you on earth, and that I will probably exist to be here tomorrow. So we should probably do what we can to do the best with what we have and be prepared for tomorrow. Because the basics of humanity have been the basics since humans existed. We shit, we sleep, we eat, we like to cuddle / have intercourse. We like to just laugh, family, animal families. You see it? Human families. You see it? The core bonds of humanity. That shit has existed throughout time. And so we strengthen the things that unite us all. The air we breathe, the water we drink, the food we eat, the way we treat each other, the way we communicate. It's going to be interesting, man. Who knows what's going to happen next? And someone out there is like, I do. I'm like, okay, then don't spoil it for me. Because this is pretty fascinating. A lot of times I'll figure out stuff for myself. And I'm like, oh. Hi. Hey, Colleen. Ladies and gentlemen, Colleen is here. Now it is officially an X-Men meeting. And I'm gonna, As I was saying before we got here, Colleen, there are heavy X-Men vibes today. Which brings me to the other point, like 2 days ago, the publishing company, oddly enough, called Diamond. This is like a card game with diamonds and clubs and spades and hearts, I guess. Detective Comics is no longer going to work with publisher Diamond, and no one knows what they're going to do next. Now, I have been dreaming, fantasizing, technically writing a story about the all-female X-Men romantic comedy. Of course, there are dudes in it. Crossover with DC romantic comedy trilogy that would base out everything for like the next 10 years or whatever. That would be awesome. And so this would put it in a position to where Marvel and DC could be in the same house where that could happen. So in that way, that's exciting. So yeah, Mystique is here. Shapeshifters, they are real. Like of things, and a lot of times it's like the Matrix, to where the emotions you feel, how you live, it's like you're picking your own, how you look. And so you are projecting, when people see you in real life, not necessarily the same on video, you are projecting your image to others. It's just something everybody does. And so Mystique in the X-Men can shapeshift. And I can say for sure, I've definitely met several, not saying Mystique is one, but I've definitely met several shapeshifters in real life over the course of my lifetime. You know? Okay, great. Speaking of that, I had a crazy idea. Because at one time, Dave Chappelle got into an argument with the transgender community. And then today, apparently, J.K. Rowling got into a disagreement with him. So I was thinking like Dave, J.K., Jeffree Star, and RuPaul could go to dinner and work it out. And just like with all the presidents and the leaders of the world, smoking blunts and walking on a beach for 3 days trying to figure out all of our problems, I would probably give them the same recipe. So I'm big on legalizing the peace pipe in 2020, especially when you have a prison for profit system that heavily incarcerates minorities and people of color. Now, that having that system that is just for profit in the stock markets while keeping marijuana illegal seems like some type of super fucked up bad guy shit. And so talking about freedom and Jesus Christ while throwing people in jail for profit just because they smoke weed definitely sounds like some super antichrist shit and is way too late into the game for us to be doing that. Like, we have seen multiple states legalize marijuana and the earth didn't rip open. Civilization didn't lose its mind, you know? Anyway, this video. It's like they won't let us have rock and roll. They won't let us legally have marijuana. And I believe there are times where, like, they know a little bit of everything on everybody. And so if they wanted to get people for anything at any time, it's just like a cheat sheet where they leave things semi-decriminalized unless they need to come get you. What's it talking about? Like, Texas hasn't legalized marijuana, and I live in Texas. And if you don't think that I have been pushing for that for 30 years, then you don't get it. That, like, the third paragraph of the Bible, Genesis, says, I, God, give you all green seed-bearing plants. And if you put enough science focus into hemp and cannabis, you could probably run your car on hemp fuel. Elon could bust out his rockets on electricity, magnets, and hemp fuel, probably. You know? Shit, you could power everything just on the waves of the ocean. And there's some point where you get into the truth community, right? And you're learning shit and you're going down rabbit holes. And then you stumble on a big one. And one of the biggest, simplest ones is that, like, oh, if they put X amount of power generators down at the beaches, they could power everything in the earth in electricity just based off the waves of the ocean. And so there's no real reason to be extracting petroleum for energy purposes. There's no real, like, you could power, like, not even talking about the sun, the big ball of energy in the sky. That's the easy one. But, like, step it down a level and you could power everything off the waves of the ocean. Power everything. And right, and so when you do your little truth community, I'm learning, I'm figuring out the truth. Like Jesus told me, I'm an arrow to that which is honest and true. And then you get there and you're like, oh, okay, so yeah, we could totally have solar powered everything. Oh yeah, we can have wave powered everything. And we're still on petroleum extraction, war powered everything. And so at some point it's like, what do you do once you've learned that information? Like I've talked about, there are many other channels on YouTube who understand that the Earth's core naturally produces petroleum. So what do you do when you have that information? Even I only talk about it on regular, irregular special occasions, like super plagues, everything falling apart, like, you know, so it's one of the things. So if at any time anyone in the truth community is just, they're either selling you, not talking about everybody, but they're selling you like fear, or they're selling you who to blame, or they're selling you what's going to go wrong next. And so it's like, but the core chalice thing is like, dude, we know you can power everything off the sun. We know you can power everything off the oceans. So to not team up to get over the hump that is preventing us from evolving is literally just like putting on the G-Man jacket of like, all right, dude, and I'm not judging anyone. I'm just saying, damn, we are halfway through 2020, rolling into July 4th. With Jupiter and Saturn being like boom, 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 boom. So, like, how long are we going to fight over race? Or how long are we going to fight over the fact that people like oral sex from other adults, whether it be man, woman, woman, like, how long are we going to fight over abortion? How long are we going to fight over all this shit and not talk about the fact that we have all the solutions to all the shit, but we are not allowed to power things by the sun or by the oceans or clean the oceans because we are being trapped in this fucking bad narrative system. Or like OJ's been on the run and Bill Clinton's had a sperm stained dress burning over his head for 20 fucking years, 25 years. They killed Kurt Cobain, they killed Tupac, they killed Biggie. And then boom, it was like National Enquirer, Cthulhu style, in your face at all time. We will take all your energy, make it bad, and then pump it into God knows what. And I love you. Somehow, we have to get the richest and the poorest and everybody in between peoples to work together. People say that's impossible, but I'm still here, you're still here. And a lot of the people that I've met in real life understand what I'm talking about. They're like, when you choose your future, do you choose a good future for you, your family, your future friends, their children, your future children's children? Or are you going to choose to stay in a mindset that barely worked in 2015, 2017? We'll see what happens. It's my impression of Mr. Miyagi and the Karate Kid. Sending healing energy your way. We will see. There's a amazing video that was made by the quartermaster of the Air Force, who is a black man and his Air Force. Look it up. He did it. It came out like yesterday. And I would follow that man into any battle. Earth is like a spaceship, bro. He didn't mention spaceships. I jumped back into Star-Lord New Thor 7 territory, Planetary Defense Commander. They're like, Earth is like a spaceship, man. Is this going to be Star Trek to where all the worlds shirk off their usury and petroleum dollar government to live in a world of shared abundance and peace? Is one Earth family? Or is it going to be whatever I didn't even watch the last Star Wars. This is going to be bad Star Wars until the end. I bet the good guys are going to win. I bet everything's going to get better. Does it take a week? Does it take a month? Does it take 6 months? Year and a half? 1,000 more years? We shall see. But I recommend ending all wars, having a 1-year Earth truce, and going from there. Yes, the goal is 1,000 years of peace, but you got to start with baby steps. And so getting every country to agree and every group to say, hey, Let us all give up war and fighting with each other to solve all these motherfucking problems we have for a year. And then, if that year is over, if they did not like working together and the benefits that came from it, then everybody could choose to go back to the old crappy system. A 1 year Earth truce, a truce and a jubilee. I think I've been mentioning that since 2015. It's not new. I was saying it under Trump, and I was saying it under Obama. I'm saying it under Trump, man. And all we're doing is getting back on the same path that we were heading down in like 1993, 1990. We'll see what happens. We will see what happens. So yeah, do the best you can. Try to cut me a little slack because I have been in here since since like November 2016. 99 mostly foxhole. And so now we're in the middle of 2020. I don't have to explain as much to everybody. It all seems to make as much sense as it did then. It's just now it's more in bold and pronounced and in your face and on your doorstep every day. Stand by me. Yeah. Let me say this about racism. All right? They say don't compare yourselves to other men. But when I like to get better, I like to compare myself with men and women, just the most talented people, whatever they do. If you ever want to see how they did and then compare yourself, it's something I've done my whole life. And so, I don't know, the idea of going to heaven with like Prince and Jimi Hendrix, who were like two of the coolest of all the things you could be as a man. Prince and Jimi Hendrix seem to really kind of get it. And so when you look back on a man and think, was he cool? Was he good? Did the things around him stay good and cool? And Jimi Hendrix and Prince, like going into heaven with them, like how would I rate? I'm just like, to me those are like, and Kenny Rogers, Dolly Parton, like angels as weird. They're all musicians, but I'm just saying, like when you got out, like if you had to rate yourself against other people based on heart, talent, coolness, in the fire of all things, they're like, and Bob Marley, like some of the greatest men who have walked on earth, been tempted by all the devils, been tempted by all the things, and still shined on. That is the list. Johnny Cash, like this list. And so like the kings of this list are like Jimi Hendrix, Prince, Bob Marley. So, yeah, Jesus up here, then they're here, and anything you would use to foster racism is way below that. I don't know if I said that well or... And that in the early 90s, everybody was pretty much getting along. White people, black people, Hispanic people, Asian people, like Indian people, Middle Eastern people. We were heading to like, we are the world, like world peace just seemed next. And then like I said, Kurt died, Tupac died, Biggie died. We went straight into OJ in the Bronco, into Clinton with the sperm dress, straight into 1999 Y2K. Here's your smartphone. Here's 24/7 news narrative all day, every day. And for those 20 years, they so divide and conquer on every, like, that's how it went down. And now we're here. And so whatever the next step is, it's going to be a big one. Yes, there are powerful individuals. And there are a lot of great people and creatures on the planet. So just do your best. That's what I'm going to do. And treat everybody well. Stay cool. Try and keep a sense of humor. And I love you. Okay. Thank you for hanging out with me. And between us as friends, it's the whole, like, the more things get more 2020 and Asteroid Fight Club, the more I'm trying to manifest or wish a good woman or cool women that were in my life around me. You know? And so that when I stop working, I start to think about that. And that feeling overwhelms me. Especially at the strawberry moon, full moon. Women and lunar energy is connected in my mind. And so, it's easier to be here with you. Be honest. Because it kind of feels like we're on a date. Although, if we were on a real date, I definitely would have showered today. Okay, I love you. Stay cool. Talk to you guys soon. I will now post the video that Pepin did with the Lanza thing, where it shows the giant storm, the storm crystal ball, like the storm is going to hit is like a hurricane level pressure, which is 992-ish, 990. And then the bowling ball of pressure that has all this rain and wind in it is going to roll up the whole Midwest over like Arkansas, Indiana, Illinois, into Wisconsin. As the other storm kind of meets up with it, and it has multiple pressures that are like spinning around and then join as you have the dolly pressure coming into the Atlantic. It almost looks like they could be doing the whole yin and yang thing. And so we have hurricane season. It is live. It's volcano season and earthquake season. They're live. It is war season, and War, Eris, and Mars are going to be like trying to be like, this is our domain. We run the show. We don't like change. And that somehow the Venus, which is now invisible and retrograde spirit, the woman, the feminine, the mother, the home, the grandma. It's like now is time for the male spirit, the best of the sun, to stand up and do this and do the right thing and do the right thing well while telling a funny joke. But it's like, this is like 2020 is like every movie that was ever made squashed into 1 year. And we're all here, and we're all different characters that are, like I said, we're more unique than the star hearts that we have inside. If I would say y'all were my team's pretty great. And so I have I got a lot of faith in all the good people on the planet. And if there was a way to bet, I would bet that way every single time. But women still like, yeah, I still am physically attracted to women. We're like, holy crap. Love you. Stay cool.